The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set.
Go, please.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man? Big four, man. Biggest four, man. Shout out Big Lotto, man. Shout out the other big, you know. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Look, clickbait. Everything I do keep going viral. Louis on my leather, got my laces throwing spirals. Rappers, they been washed, I got them throwing in the towel. Chirping on them, net them birds dead, just like owl. Know that I'm a star, cause that was Simon said coward. I would never cheat, cause you and I my only vowel. Rappers, they be sweet, they in the patch, I know they sour. Know I put some on, they watch my movements like I'm bow.
The beat go off? Okay. Whoa.
Rip me out the plastic, need my cash and make it fit gymnastic. Drop my tape, then blast it, got them spazzing, make them trip like acid. IRS, I'm taxing, killing fashion, I'm a drip assassin. Did you think before you tweet? Did you stretch before you reach? Did you check before you creep? Can't buy respect, it ain't that cheap, I gotta eat. Ain't break a sweat, review that chef like I was Keith. We got Van Leaf, that's what I stress, if they suggest we can't repeat.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. Got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. How was your day?
Uneventful.
Yes, sir.
Boring.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what. If these old keyboards could talk, people got excited, real excited, man. We did y'all thought the list, we did our list, and we're gonna do our list today for top, quarterback since 2000. And it was, we did it. People had some criticism and stuff. Boy, we did that HBCU list. Oh boy, I can't wait for tomorrow because people went wow.
Set the internet on fire.
Yeah, it's crazy. But man, I hope everybody's doing well this evening. What's good? Sam Wilson say the best podcast out. Man, I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Check in the mail, bro.
Yeah. It's gotta add a little something extra for you and get a quarter gallon of gas with. Man, that's like $5 now. You can't get nothing with $5. But like I said, man, I hope everybody's doing well. Got a good little bit things to talk about this evening. But first, man, let me go ahead and bring in one of our other co-hosts. So you want to show everybody what you got? He got his track medal, man. It's yeah, from doing track this year, they gave him a medal, tell him, congratulations on a successful season and stuff. That's good. Had a great season, man, track season. Can't wait, looking forward to next year. We're going to state. We're going to win state next year. We're going to do big things. Thought baseball season was about to get cut short last night. Somebody was running bases, decided to turn around and go the opposite way.
Why? Why would you do that?
You know anybody who did that? Oh, he quiet now. But it's not your fault. I understand. Yeah, but yeah, man. Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get started, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Josh, what's good with you, man? Appreciate you being here with us. Let's go ahead and get started, man. But first, man, we do got a shout out to our sponsors over at Bet Online. Be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Hey, welcome back. So, man, let's jump into it, man. First off, man, news out of the NCAA. On April 14th, they approved, I don't know if you say a bill, policy, I guess you could say, a new rule. There's now unlimited official visits beginning 1 July.
What you think about it?
So I know we talked about this prior to. I like it. I like it because it allows kids to be able to visit multiple campuses. When I say multiple, personal. We know Jay Sean is going through his process right now. Tulane wants to get him for official visit. I was like, yeah, if that's the school you're considering, yes. But I was like, you don't want to waste your visits this early. And I was like, you only have 4 left. With this new rule, he can go visit Tulane. He can go see Tulane. He can go see a smaller school if he wants. He can go see a bigger school. And he's not wasting his time. He can actually go find out about the curriculum. I mean, the educational side, and saying that, and not just rely on what he sees on, because there's not a lot. I mean, there's commercials during the games about the academic side of colleges, but it's not like you looking at commercial or seeing, what the professor's doing on TV. So it's like all you got to judge by is the football side. I think this gives you an opportunity, because me personally, that's why I look at the official visit as the way to find about, do you fit academically? Do you fit with the environment? So not just with the football team. So that's just my thoughts on it.
I kind of look at it another way. Mm-hmm. I think having 5 official visits forces the recruit to do their homework and find a school that kind of fits them. You know what I'm saying? Like, now that you have unlimited, you can you can go to a different school every weekend until you eventually find the spot that fits best for you. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't have to do as much homework. You don't have to kind of do your due diligence as a recruit. You can just kind of just keep going till you find a spot that you feel right for you. And you don't have to be as selective with it. And on the other side, if I'm a small school, let's use Tulane. You brought them up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm Tulane and I got a guy that I like, okay, I fly him down for official visit. And then he's like, oh, I wasn't really even coming here. I would just wanted to come to New Orleans for a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you got people who can use school. I mean, some people won't have a problem with it, but you got people that can use schools when and I'm not saying it doesn't happen now, but right. It'll happen more. It'll be more prevalent if there was unlimited schools. I mean, unlimited visits to schools, where people would just use the school for a visit when they know they're not going there because it don't hurt them. They got unlimited visits.
So I understand what you're saying. I slightly disagree. And this is the reason why I slightly disagree. There are limits to it. So it's like, for instance, like Tulane, when they're talking about flying down, we have a family of 6. They basically told them, say, hey, if you're flying, you can only bring, you and 2 other guests. If you drive down, it's you and 3 other guests. So it kind of limits that. The University of Hawaii, you can't even take the way they have it, because they know people would take official visits. Still,
individual school though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but people can take advantage of.
Right.
I mean, Hawaii's been had their rule in place,
right?
Because of the cost of it, of an official visit. Like, they're not just finding anybody to Hawaii. Yeah. But I mean, there's always rules and stipulations. But when I mean take advantage of, I'm not saying like you bring.
You're gonna fly to different places and stuff.
Yeah, now, I don't even have any interest in going to the University of Texas. You know what I'm saying? But hey, why not? I'm gonna go out there for a weekend.
So, and I understand. One thing that because I do want people to hear this, the official visit thing, the unlimited, it still has the rule you can only visit one school officially once. It still has that in there. On the D2 and D3 level, unlimited visits has always been there. Unlimited official visits. That's always been there. So that hadn't changed. But so I get what you're saying. Like I said, and the point about saying forcing them to do their homework, that's a really good one. I just like I
Think
said,
about this too. Think about this. Uh, I use your boy as an example. So right now, it's Tulane, it's the South Alabama, it's the Troy, that UAB, it's the G5 for a lesser extent. Let's say he does all of his official visits, and Tulane got him in the bag. He going to Tulane. Then all of a sudden, Auburn don't get a guy that they thought they was gonna get, and now they could still give him an official visit. You know what I mean? And now they could just start plucking guys from G5s because you ain't got to worry about them not being able to come on campus for a visit. You definitely can get them in for. So you know what I mean? I think it hurts some of the lower level schools in that sense because you ain't got to worry about a guy maxed out on visits and can't go to the campus.
all right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, I'm trying to find it. Pull up. I'm trying to pull up next topic. But yeah, that's fair. What you're saying is fair. So I can't stop, man. I can't dispute that. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. All right. But I get the people are asking for. Oh, let's talk about these top 10 lists, man. Top 10. Oh no, this for this year. I'm tripping. That is incorrect. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to find.
Why you talking about
So
that?
basically, yeah,
I'm
go
a,
ahead.
while you looking at that, I'm gonna go ahead and mention this. You ain't got any topics, but the Congress has a draft that will put some regulations on NIL in a sense. It will force players to report any new deals within a certain amount of time, and it will basically put some parameters in place to try to make it less like the Wild Wild West. So looks like I was wrong when I said Congress wouldn't be caring about NIL, but they haven't passed anything yet, so it still has a long way to go.
Yeah, I still don't. You know how I feel about the
Yeah.
NCAA passing the book. Congress bailed me out. Um, I just think it sets a bad precedence because you're you're kicking the can down the road to help me, Congress, fix me. Basically, is what it looks like, and that may not be the case, but yeah, it's just a bad look in my opinion. Now, if there are going to be regulations, that'll be good, but I just like I said, it's a bad look in my opinion. But here we go, man. Let's talk about this, man. Top 10 quarterbacks since 2000. So on three did a top 10 list. This is what was their list. They got Baker Mayfield number one, Cam Newton, Vince Young, Tim Tebow, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Marcus Mariota, RG3. So I yeah, I when I first saw this, the first thing I said was trash. Bum. Um Baker Mayfield at number one. I get they're probably looking at the career in totality. Um, I just wasn't feeling it, honestly. Um, so we did our own list.
Did you got Bill Connolly list?
I don't actually. Let me see if I can find it. Move, baby. Move. Hold on. Pull his up because people are extremely mad about his. Um, see if I can find his. No, that's not it. Um, Trying to think what I was. I mean, do you remember
I know
his?
he had Baker at number one. Um, I think it was kind of similar to that one
Mhm.
that you just had, but I'm trying to find it.
I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah,
See
it
if
was
I can
Baker,
find.
Cam, Vince Young, Tebow, Burrow, Watson, Murray. Pull up the list you just had.
Okay, hold on. I took it down. I got it. I can't even.
Cause they might on three might have put up. Yeah, that the one you put up was that was Bill Connolly list.
It was on 3. So,
Yeah, nah, that was Bill Connolly list though. It say per
oh, okay,
ESPN.
gotcha.
So yeah,
That
that's
was
the same list.
yeah, yes, yeah. So we did our own list, and I guess we could just go down the list, and then we'll talk about the you know, what I'm saying what your thought process, your criteria, because we didn't set criteria. Um,
We just put names down.
we put names down. We went by what we thought, and we had our own separate criteria. So I'm interested to see what you thought, and then I'll tell what I thought. So here we go. This is your list.
Mm-hmm.
You had Burrow, Cam. I'll let you read your own list.
I had Burrow number one, Cam Newton two, Vince Young three, Tebow four, Matt Leinart five, Deshaun Watson six, Trevor Lawrence seven, Lamar Jackson eight, Jameis Winston nine, Baker Mayfield 10.
All right, and my list, I went Joe Burrow 1, Cam Newton 2, Tebow 3, Vince Young 4, Deshaun Watson 5, Lamar Jackson 6, Trevor Lawrence 7, Baker 8, RG3 9, and Jameis Winston at 10 to round it out. So yeah, what was your criteria, man?
All right, so it was basically like Burrow number one because that's the greatest season we've ever seen. Cam Newton number two because it's the second best in my opinion we've ever seen. I'm biased, whatever, cool, but that's my one too. Vince Young number three because he single-handedly carried them to a championship that year with no other pro on that offense besides Jamal Charles. But he led the team in rushing, even though they had Jamal Charles. And he had like 4,000 yards from scrimmage that year. Tebow was number five. He would have been higher if he didn't have so much help around him, and if he would have been a bigger impact on that freshman national championship team.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't argue. He probably the greatest winner. You know what I mean? But he had a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. And that's what knocked him down a little bit. Same thing with Matt Leinart. Knocked him down because he got all that talent around him. But he had a hell of a year. I mean career. Deshaun Watson, he had a good 2 years, but neither one of them was really like historic. But it was solid. And he beat the Bama dynasty that no one thought could be beat. But he would be higher if he would have had a more historic season. Or if he would have started from day one as a freshman. Trevor Lawrence, if he would have got another natty or if he would have got a Heisman. And then he probably would have been higher on my list. Lamar ain't win, but he ain't have no kind of help. And for him to have he won a Heisman and then put up better numbers the next year. So I feel like he should have been Jameis, 2 national championships, well, a national championship and a playoff appearance for 2 years. The only reason he not higher is because of all the help he had around him, and he didn't win that second one. And he only really played for 2 seasons. And Baker didn't win. That's why he not. That's why he 10. He ain't got no natty. Gotcha. And he had a lot of talent. Kyler Murray came and kind of did the same thing. You know what I mean? So kind of a system thing too.
Yeah. What's up, Aaliyah? How you doing, baby? Yeah, we see your comments. We But let me see. Let me talk about my list, man. So Burrow at 1, Cam at 2, and a lot of people say those could be interchangeable, and I agree. My thoughts is Cam Newton had the by far probably the one of the best single seasons in college football history, especially considering he had no help.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe Burrow's performance that entire season was unreal. So that's why I've got, and if y'all understand what I'm saying, that's why I've got it. I've got Tebow at 3. Tebow career, he was good. He wasn't just serviceable. He was good. He was great.
That 2007 year was ridiculous.
Right, but you got Tebow just is. I don't know what it was, man. It's just
You
it was
had
so much talent.
Hernandez, you had
Yeah, it was
Hernandez,
so
you had
much
Percy
talent.
Harvin, you had all that talent on defense. Jeff
Yeah,
Dempson, man, yeah.
At number 4, Vince Young, man. Vince Young had so his junior season, the championship season, he went nuts. He went bananas. Before that, though, he had some really decent seasons, but he made Texas relevant again. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson took Clemson to back-to-back college football playoffs. Lost one very close, and then went back and won one. I've got Lamar because, like you said, Lamar had a season that what I'm saying people dreamed about. I mean, he was like literally Michael Vick all over again. What I'm saying. Trevor Lawrence took Clemson to 3 straight college football playoffs. One won his freshman year. Would have won another one his sophomore year had he not run against the best team of college football in the 2019 LSU. And then that third year, it was just it COVID year, but that was Baker. Baker had a really good career. He just couldn't get over the hump. He could never get outside of getting the Heisman, he just couldn't do anything more. And it was just like, you've got that talent. Granted, you had that defense, but you just couldn't do more. RG3 won the Heisman, had one of the, let's think about this. RG3 season was so good that Honey Badger had probably the best season of a defensive player we had seen in decades, probably since Charles Woodson. And the only reason he didn't win the Heisman is because we're RG3.
Yeah.
So, Jameis Winston lost one game, if I'm not mistaken, his entire career start as a starter, won the Heisman and a national championship. If I'm not mistaken, the only game they lost was because they went undefeated the championship
They lost
year.
to Oregon in the championship.
Lost to Oregon in college football playoff. And he put up numbers. So that's why I've got it like that. That's my list. Now let's do this, man. Honorable mentions. You got any? I got a couple.
Go ahead.
So this one, shout out to Mo Carter. Mo Carter I was like, man, I forgot about him. And he, probably could have been on there. Pat White.
That's a good one.
Pat White probably could have. It was one of my honorable mentions. Jamarcus Russell. That's a little biased. That's
interesting.
It's a little flavorful. Little hometown cookie.
Interesting.
And Baker Mayfield. Not Baker Mayfield. Manziel.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people
a lot of Manziel not on the list.
A lot of people's like, man, why Manziel ain't on there? He's saying top 5. And I'm like, I think Manziel was good, but
so one of my honorable mentions would be Colt Brennan. One of them would be Kellen Moore, and one of them would be Michael Vick.
Yeah. No. Vic,
Oh, you said since 2000.
since
That's right.
2000.
That's
I
right.
say Vic
That's
was.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I just
That's
thought
right.
about
Okay,
that.
so
Yeah.
I can't put him in there. Okay.
But Vic is a good one.
Yeah.
What's good, Miak?
I put them to the. I can't think of nobody else for right now,
Okay.
off the top of my head. But Nick say no love for Mac Jones. I hate Alabama, but man, his 2020 season. 77% completion, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Yeah, he did that for 1 year, and half of those touchdowns went to one player who won the Heisman that year. That's kind of how I feel about Manziel. Like half of Manziel's yards went to Mike Evans. Like, and I know people say that you could try to say that about Burrow. LSU had 3,000-yard receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like they had. Well, I don't know if Terrace actually went
No,
over
it was
1,000.
2,000 yard receivers. I think
And a
Terrence
thousand
ended up
yards
with
rushing. He
a
had
thousand
like
yard
eight
rush.
something, yeah. But
Yeah,
Terrence had like double-digit touchdowns or right at
and
double-digit
he
touchdowns.
missed 4 games.
And he missed 4 games, exactly. So it was Burrow was spreading it around more. He wasn't just throwing it up to Devontae or Mike Evans. You know what I mean? So I think that's a little different from what like they were good quarterbacks. Manziel was a great quarterback, but it's a little different from what when you comparing what they did, what Burrow did.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna address this real quick because somebody else said Tua, and I say, and I'm finna tell you, I'm finna hurt some feelings here. Oh, that was a good one. Paul said we forgetting Andrew Luck. Yeah, Andrew Luck was a good one. I did.
We are forgetting Andrew Luck. I can't even lie to you. I did forget Andrew Luck.
Yeah. So I actually said this on Carter's show last night. You know what I'm saying? I was in the comments and I said this about Tua, and people was like, man, you crazy. And then they thought about it. But I said Tua folded in every big game I ain't gonna say every in just about every big game he was in. Tua folded,
except for the one. All right, so I got except for the freshman year, whenever he came
off the bench.
Bingo! I was just about to say he had no pressure on him. He had no pressure on him. That was I was going to say I've been saying that about that game for the longest. He had no pressure.
And then the next year when he went, he was getting folded up by Georgia, and he got benched or he got hurt, and then they ended up putting
Hurts had to come in.
Jalen Hurts in, and then after that went to the national championship and looked booty meat.
Yeah,
terrible. And then people was talking about
the next year,
yeah, he was hurt.
Got hurt.
And then they said, what about when he played LSU? He was horrible the first half. Second half, he did. He did his thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, Tua, if you put like in big game situation, he folded.
That's a good point. But I think Andrew Luck got to be in.
Yeah,
somebody. Yeah, he got to be in the top 10. That's a good one. Pause up.
Yeah, another one. They said, our man Preston guy said, Vince Young too high. He said we had Vince Young too high. He said Vince Young had one good year. No, he didn't say 1 year good year. He said Vince Young had one good game and people elevate him. So hold on, because when he said that, I was like, that's revisionist history. I remember something completely different. So I actually went back and looked up his stats. His freshman year, he threw for 1,155 yards, and he rushed for 998 yards. His sophomore year, he threw for 1,849, rushed for 1,127. Also, his touchdown to interception was horrible. And his freshman year, it was 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Sophomore year is 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But he had 11 touchdowns rushing and 14 touchdowns rushing those respective years. His junior year, though, 3,036 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He also rushed for another 1,050 yards and 12 touchdowns. That's not subpar. That's not a one game. That man had a phenomenal year and should have went well. Reggie Bush
Reggie
won
Bush won
Heisman.
the Heisman that
I
year.
was gonna say, but so he could have won Heisman. But that again, that's one of those, you know. Now I'll tell you somewhere else. I did an honorable mention. Somebody I didn't put on there. Josh brought up Mariota. Yeah, Mariota, you know what I'm saying, was good. Justin Fields and somebody else I didn't
Yeah,
put
that's
on,
a good one. Yeah.
who had a really good
Yeah, that's a good one. I thought about Troy Smith. I
yeah.
thought about Ken Dorsey on those Miami teams because he won a lot. But he was kind of carried by the people around him. You know what I mean? If Fields would have won a championship or a Heisman, I probably would have, that's the thing. Like, it's so much. It's not just putting up big numbers. It's not just winning games. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you got to have the accolades and everything to go along with it because there's been so many good quarterbacks.
All right. That was my thing, man. It's so many quarterbacks, man, that you know what I'm
Somebody
saying?
always gonna get left off the list.
Yeah, definitely gonna get left off. Somebody from one of your favorite teams is gonna get left out.
I don't even want to do this tomorrow.
Tomorrow gonna be wild. Tomorrow gonna be wild. Miak was in there with Doc when he was talking about you know what I'm saying, pulled our list up. People was like, it was wild. People were like, this list is trash. You know, somebody was like, how you leave Steve McNair off? I'm like, Steve McNair ain't even playing.
Somebody said Steve McNair was drafted in 2006 or 2003, something like it was ridiculous.
I heard somebody, and we're gonna talk about it some more because somebody said, what was the funny? Oh, T. Jack never threw for 2,600 yards, huh? He's not that good. He shouldn't. And then did their own list and put him as honorable mention. The last quarterback, HBCU quarterback drafted, and he's an honorable mention. Come on, player. Come on. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, that's our list, man. I know everybody has, you know what I'm saying, it's opinionated, you know what I'm saying, strong opinionated. But that's our list, man. And if you don't like it, oh well.
First of all, we never claimed to be some kind of like
experts.
We're not even just experts, but like we're not some USA Today, ESPN. You know what I mean? We just giving our personal opinions, bro. Mm-hmm. Like it ain't like our opinion hold that much weight, bro. Like, you know what I mean? For people to be getting that in their feelings about.
You know what they say about opinions, right? Everybody got one. everybody got one, but mine is better than yours. No, I was just playing. So, but nah, man, it was. I will say it was fun. It's engaging. But yeah, y'all say some wild stuff on these.
I'm gonna need a couple drinks for tomorrow.
Y'all say some wild stuff on Beyonce internet. But
Beyonce,
yeah.
Man, come on.
You know, you even had a beehive out there. We already got HBCU out there. You
ain't worried about the beehive.
It's the Nicki crew, Nicki Minaj, the Barbie dolls that you got to worry about.
I ain't worried about them neither. I just pull up to an elementary school.
Bruh.
Woo, boy! I tell you the things you hear. All right, man. I can't even find what I'm looking for, man.
Oh man,
I can't even find what I'm looking for. You need to leave. That's what. But too funny.
Oh man.
All right, man. Let's talk about these other conferences, man. A lot of these conferences got some bad news this week, man.
They got some janky promoters, janky leadership. They got some. Just means more, man. It just means more.
Yeah. ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12. This could have been an altar call. So it started with who was it first? The ACC.
Mm-hmm. You remember the Magnificent Seven?
Yeah. We talked about this. Was that Alpha we talked about? I think that was Alpha we talked about this. But Ant, tell us about it, man. What happened with the ACC?
So they had their little conference meetings where all the presidents get together, and a group of them kind of got together to meet up and talked about what it would take for them to break away and leave the ACC. And then an eighth one came to join the party, and so they were trying to figure out what they had to do to leave. And then the buyout conversation came in, and they started looking at contracts and realized it probably wasn't smart for them to leave. So they done kind of made amends, and they done kind of worked things out. Then the Big Ten, we thought the Big Ten was in a bad spot. Kevin Warren looked like he didn't read the fine print or didn't care about the fine print or just basically gave the Big Ten a big middle finger on his way out. Either all three, one of the three, whatever. But they they basically have one of the craziest TV deals I've ever seen. And it isn't exactly what the schools thought that they had, but and then the Pac-12 comes out today or yesterday that
Hold on. Yeah. Let's throw this up here.
that they former commissioner left them with a bill that they got to pay of about $60 million. So all of these conversations, and you know what's funny is we was talking about the Big 12 for the longest and how, would they fight to survive, and that all these schools coming, Texas and Oklahoma left, would they even be able to stay afloat? And now they look like the second best conference in some instances right now as far as stability and as far as, the runnings and the everyday day-to-day operations of their conference. I mean, they lost those two schools and picked up 4 schools from the American Athletic Conference. Seemed like they've fought off the Pac-12 enough to keep the Pac-12 from coming to poaching their schools. And it looked like they might have flipped the switch on the Pac-12 and be looking at taking some of their schools in Colorado, Arizona, and things of that nature. So it's just funny how in such a short term, the Big 12 went from being probably last in terms of power in the conferences, and now they're probably second or third, right there behind the SEC and the Big 10. But the Big 10, they got their own issues they got to sort out. So it's and it's interesting how this will affect conference realignment as well. Does this make the Big 10 look less appealing? You know what I mean? When you look at their TV deal isn't kind of what they thought it was.
Yeah, not just that. I thought about like with the Pac-12, man. ESPN pretty much not wanting them.
Well, I think ESPN ESPN wants them. ESPN is treating them like a friend with benefit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want the good stuff that you offer, but I don't want to deal with the headaches that you come with. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I'll take your best that you got to offer, your best games, and put them on ESPN networks. But the other games, you're going to have to go to like HGTV or somewhere to watch them or something. Because they...
Bro, that's why I was thinking Pac-12 After Dark on Fox Sports Network is going to be so weird.
I don't even know if it's going to be on there, bro.
What else can it be? That's all. I mean, what they got? They got Fox and
who's to say Fox wants them?
They already got. Well, Fox already doing.
Yeah, but I'm saying that deal about to expire soon, if I'm not mistaken.
It's gonna be very interesting.
So that's why you're gonna be having like on CBS Sports HQ or something, NBC Sports Line.
Well, yeah, I mean.
NBC Sports Line or something like it's gonna be like the NCAA tournament. You're gonna watch Pac-12 After Dark on True TV.
Peacock.
That's possible too. Peacock is possible.
If they were smart, they would probably try to get a deal with Amazon Prime.
If Amazon got want you, bro, take two to tango.
That's true. That's true. Appreciate you, Mia. He said, "Don't devalue yourselves. Most of the people in the press don't know much themselves. The list y'all was strong. Y'all came up with.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Come back tomorrow and say
yeah. Please say the same thing tomorrow, Mia, because we gonna need thoughts and prayers.
I ain't worried about people. I'm gonna just be over here drinking my jet.
All right, man. Let's talk NBA playoffs, man. You win some, music. You lose some.
You got some funeral music.
Yeah, to fight another day.
We need some funeral music.
Yeah, them Lakers, man. My Lakers.
I would say this as the resident Laker hater on the show. And I put this on social media. I don't know if I put it on Twitter or not, but you really can't hate on the Lakers. You can't clown the Lakers. You can't do. They weren't supposed to be here, man. They weren't supposed to make it to where they made it at. And I know they got swept, and nobody ever likes to get swept, but they barely made the playoffs. I mean, they had to fight for their lives after the trade deadline to even get in the playoffs and to upset Memphis, the number 2 seed, and the defending champs. Like, that ain't nothing to laugh at. That ain't nothing to scoff at. So
speaking of that, I'm gonna let you finish. I don't know what Chris at, but Chris been trying to throw shots at the Lakers and stuff. Talking about some Steph would never get swept. LeBron would never give up a 3-1 lead. But go ahead.
But I mean, who cares if they got swept tonight? That's so crazy to me, bro. Like, these people come up with the craziest things to criticize people for. So if he would have won one more game, it would have mattered. Like, come on, bro. Like, it makes no difference.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, like, I personally do not like the Lakers because of someone who's on the team. But I mean, I gotta admit it, they wasn't supposed to be here. You know what I mean? So you can't say that their season a failure or anything along them lines, because they made it farther than they were supposed to, or that anybody thought they were. But on the other hand, you gotta give Denver all the credit in the world, man. They did what they're supposed to do. They had a team across from them who wasn't a good. I mean, was a great. I mean, they weren't as good, and no disrespect to the Lakers, but it is what it is. Denver's was the number 1 seed in the West for a reason. And they did what they had to do. They took advantage of the matchups that they had that was advantageous. And, they looked like the better team. And you got solution.
Boy, stop.
You got to, I mean, you gotta at least give Denver credit for doing what they're supposed to do. Because we've seen a lot of times the better team in that situation don't always win or don't always take care of business. They kind of play with their food a little bit, kind of like what Boston did with Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen these type of situations. So, I mean, you just got to give kudos to Jokic, the best player in the world right now, hands down. Jamal Murray, I don't think anybody's playing better than him right now, except maybe Jimmy Butler. But I mean, it was just too much for the Lakers to handle, bro.
Which would be fun to watch. Yeah, man. I was laughing at the Brian is leaving, going to go say, boy, stop. No. No.
Nah. He gonna stay there for one more year and then dip.
Yeah. Nick say Bron at the end of his rope. I can agree. So I'll give him one more season, then he retires after that. No, it's at least 2. Yeah,
it's
at
2.
Least 2.
It's 1 and 1 with Bronny. And that one with Bronny, it ain't really gonna be like it's gonna be the farewell tour. So it ain't really gonna be a whole lot of wear and tear and stress on his body. Yeah. But I think
he tried to hang around for Bryce.
Hell no. Hell no.
Bryce or what? Sophomore, ain't it?
Yeah, but that's 82 games a lot, bro. Like, that'd be like 25 seasons, dog. Like, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That man would be 43. I don't know. That's a lot. Yeah. But I will say though, I think his days of playing at the level that we saw him play at this year, I think they over. Nick said, I don't think he plays
Yeah,
with Bronny.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think he plays with Bronny. He don't want to put that kind of pressure on that young man. That would be the worst move ever. What kind of pressure? Because at that point, like I think as of what Tuesday or Monday, whatever day, I think people have realized the Bron's championship window is kind of closed. You know what I mean? Like especially if he's not on the Lakers and with AD in them anymore. Like you can't. Nobody's gonna be expecting them to win a championship. If Bronny and LeBron go to Detroit, they don't all of a sudden have finals aspirations. You know, like I feel like that would be ludicrous to put that kind of pressure on LeBron at 41 years old or whatever the case may be. Like I I don't really think that there will be pressure on him. And he's already said that he wants to play with Bronny. Like I don't think that that's changed. I honestly think that LeBron said that I got a lot to think about because the man would just lost and just gave his all for 48 minutes. You know what I mean? And it wasn't enough. Like I don't really think he's actually gonna retire. I mean, Bronny going. He said his dad is the second best player in history. Fair or not, Bronny gonna get that pressure. He gonna have that same pressure whether or not he play with his daddy or not. Then
No, but nobody's literally looking at Bronny to say, "Oh, he gonna be as good as LeBron." Everybody, people right now are literally saying Bryce is gonna be better than him.
Well, and not to that point. If he's gonna have the pressure because of who his daddy is, it don't matter if he play with his daddy or not. He gonna have that same pressure. So him playing with his daddy is you know what I mean is not gonna it's not gonna make it any different.
Kenny Mack with the Kenny Mack said, "I say crazy stuff when I'm tired too."
Facts. That's
Yeah.
big facts.
Yeah. So, man, let's talk about the other series, man. Boston. You win some, you lose some, but you live to you know what I'm saying, you live to fight another day.
Boston's so rude. Like how y'all gonna make Miami fly all the way up there to Boston just to end the series up there? Like, you know what I mean? Like y'all could have just went ahead and ended it.
The rumor is that Jimmy Butler left his car keys in Boston, so that's where they're going back to get.
And no, honestly, it's probably Jimmy Butler wanted to troll Boston fans one more time. You know what I'm saying? Like Jimmy Butler's like it feel better to win on their home floor. So
yeah. But yeah, man.
Tatum finally made a shot in the fourth quarter.
Let me ask this. Because I think it's foregone conclusion. And if we are wrong, we have to do a special episode, but like, hey, we was wrong about Boston. But it's a foregone conclusion that it's gonna be Miami versus Denver. How do you think that shapes out? Because I know how Miami. I know how LA matched up against Denver, not very well. But how does Miami match up against Denver?
I'll say this. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be Denver versus Miami, but hypothetically, if we had a Denver versus Miami finals matchup, think it would be kind of similar to what we just saw.
Which you talking about with LA?
Yeah. I don't know who is guarding Jokic. Like, I mean, who you got?
Haslam. They're gonna put Udonis Haslam in there one last
time. If Udonis Haslam wins a ring, is he the greatest Heat player of all time?
Yes. The Heat have never won a championship without him.
That's big facts. He will have 4. Hey, I got a crazy stat for your ass right here.
I heard it on the tell it because when I heard it, go ahead.
Yeah. If the Heat make the finals, then Kevin Love will have made the finals every year he made the playoffs.
That's wild.
That's wild, ain't it?
That's wild.
That's crazy, bro. But I don't think necessarily that Denver gonna sweep Miami if they were to meet in the finals. But when I say exactly what we just saw, I mean a team that is inferior to Denver. I mean, I don't really think it's close top to bottom wise that Denver is a better team. I don't think that Miami has anybody that can hold Jokic. I think Denver has multiple guys that they could throw at Jimmy Butler, not to stop him, obviously, but to, you know, make him work. They got the KCP, they got Aaron Gordon, they got Michael Porter Jr., they got Brown. You know what I mean? They got a whole bunch of guys that they could throw him to keep rotating guys on him. And they kind of can match match Miami in terms of depth wise with scoring options. Like Miami has a lot of scoring options with Bam, with Jimmy, with Kyle Lowry, but with Gabe Vincent, with Caleb Martin. But Denver, on the other hand, I mean, they got just as many guys that could score with Jokic, with Porter, with Gordon, with Murray, KCP, with Brown off the bench. You know what I mean? So I think the only thing that Miami has the advantage in is the head coach. I think Spoelstra is easily the better head coach. But other than that, I think all the advantage, except defense, I think Miami's a better defense team. But other than that, I think depth, talent, offense, I think all that is in favor of Denver.
Yeah.
I would say Denver in 6.
Shout out to Big Pressure. Happy birthday, my boy.
Yes, sir. It's a movie for real over there.
All right, man. Let's move on to some baseball, man. LSU's Dylan Cruz named SEC Player of the Year, and LSU's Paul Skeen named SEC Pitcher of the Year. I think Paul Skeen, both of them finna get some more accolades. Paul Skeen gonna end up being Pitcher of the Year, National Pitcher of the Year.
Let me ask you this: Paul Skeens to LSU. Where you put him transfer wise?
I'll talk to you at the end of the season.
Okay.
Because right now, 1 and 2, Angel Reese. Well, Joe Burrow, Angel Reese.
Is he above Jaden right now?
Right now, yes.
Really?
Yeah, because he already got Pitcher of the Year, SEC Pitcher of the Year. He getting accolades. Jaden
won the West.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. So
played in the SEC championship game. So technically he finished number 2 in the SEC. Paul Skeens finished number 3. I know it's a team thing, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. If they win the Natty,
it changes things. If they make it to Omaha, that would change things.
That would change things. So yeah. But man, I do want to say LSU played South Carolina today. Thatcher Hurd got the
9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was early too. Thatcher Hurd got the call on. He was on the bump and pitched a phenomenal game.
I get that man Paul Skeens glove every time he goes out.
Yeah, yeah. He went out there with Paul Skeens glove on, and pitched a hell of a game. Got LSU deep. I think he gave up 2 runs. He had 2 earned. I want to say 3 hits when he left. I don't remember how many strikeouts, but he was dealing. And then I forget who they brought in next. Dutton. They brought in Dutton. Bases ended up getting loaded. And I want to say they brought in Ackenhouse and helped get him out of the jam. So yeah, LSU won though. 10-3.
Yep, 10-3. And they will play Arkansas.
They'll play Arkansas.
Who won in extras today versus A&M. And if I'm not mistaken, Skeens will pitch in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We in a double elimination portion. Skeens will pitch. I think that was the plan all along. LSU will be the visitor, so they'll bat, at the top of the inning. LSU realistically should have swept Arkansas during the regular season, so this is going to be interesting. See if we can get back. Right now, It's the bottom of the 11th, and Alabama is up 6-3 on Florida, number 1 Florida.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think Florida is trying to win this, or do you think that they care?
Damn sure look like they trying right now.
I'm not watching it, so I'm just
yeah. No, I'm looking like they trying. Alabama just broke it loose, so yeah. Alabama had bases loaded in the top of the 11th and had a bases clearing double. So, but yeah, we gonna see. Other games you had South Carolina's playing Texas A&M tomorrow. Vanderbilt and Auburn have to play after this game.
Man, like ain't nothing like Hoover after dark, ain't it?
Right. Going back to yesterday, we know South Carolina won. They basically eliminated Georgia. Texas A&M eliminated Tennessee 3-0. Alabama eliminated Kentucky 4-0. And Auburn eliminated Missouri 10-4. So, excuse me.
Hoover is a wild place, man. Crazy things happen there every year.
It is. Man, before we get ready to wrap up, man, I got one more for you.
All right.
Errol Spence, Bud Crawford.
About damn
sign. July 29th in Vegas.
About time.
Hey, Adriana.
Boy, I wish school would start back.
But let me ask you this. All the marquee matchups, all lower weight classes now.
Yeah, I was talking about this at work the other day. I think it's because nobody beating Tyson Fury. Like, and I know he kind of semi-retired, but nobody was beating him. And you got one of the other guys seemed to be scared to fight the other top guys, and Joshua, and Wilder has beaten everybody that will fight him, not named Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? So it's like, if there's nobody really left for Wilder to fight, if Joshua won't fight him, Fury, there's really nobody for you to fight except maybe Usyk. So it's just kind of cyclical, I guess, because a few years ago the heavyweights is all that we was talking about with Wilder, Fury, Joshua. What's the is it Marquez? I can't think his name. Ruiz, the one who beat Joshua, but the one who was giving Wilder everything he could have, and Wilder knocked him in the 10th round. Yeah, so like, I mean, you had about 5-6 guys who was kind of all making a name for themselves at the same time, and then when Fury wiped Wilder out in them 3 fights, it was kind of like, all right, that kind of settled that weight class. But man, we got some great fights though, bro. And honestly, it's like, even though they're at a lower weight class, you got the top guys going at it, and so it's while it's not the heavyweights and it's not what you would like the casuals would prefer to see, it's still great boxing compared to what we've been seeing in the last few years.
Yeah, I got a different theory.
What you got?
The reason why is no more sexy names in heavyweight. It's no more.
That's true.
All your big name boxers. Shakur, Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, Lomachenko, Haney, Tank, Ryan Davis. All of them are pretty much the 130 to 140 range, weight class range. So it's like no, there's no big names in heavyweight right now. That saying. I mean, there's some up and coming guys. I forget the kid's name. American black guy. He usually fights on the same ticket with Shakur Stevens. I can't think of his name, but he's a heavyweight that seems to be making some noise. But Big Baby, that's him. he's making some noise, but he's not ready for the Fury yet.
Ain't nobody ready for Fury, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's not even like competition wise ready for. And I think I'm gonna be honest, I got conspiracy. I think Fury done cheated a few times, but with some of them. I mean, he's good. He's technically good.
I think he's just a different monster, bro. For him to be that big and to move like that, bro, is
for him to be as bad built like the bro. That's as somebody who that dude.
I mean, but that's bloodlines though, bro. Like he got genetic. It's just genetics, dog. Like his family was bred to fight. I mean,
yeah, that's true too. But yeah. But yeah, man. But man, that's all I got, man.
Man, you think we done? We gotta talk about the W.
Let's talk about it, man. Somebody been on a roll. Somebody been making some money.
Hey, man. I ain't gonna say no names, but WNBA is where it's at. But yesterday you had the Connecticut Sun play the Washington Mystics again, back to back. This time they went to Washington. 5.5 point underdogs and won outright. Cha-ching. But the game of the night or the game of the day was the Dream and the Lynx. Man, the Lynx got out on fire first quarter. I think they scored 30 in the first quarter. It was up at like 19 at one point. But in the second half, the Dream fought back. Alicia Gray had a big game. Ryan Howard didn't have a big scoring game, but was able to impact the game late with steals and rebounds, and so they was able to make the comeback win and keep it on the under 162.5 for your boy. So appreciate that. But tomorrow we got some good action. We got the Aces go on the road to the Sparks, 1-0 teams. Aces should handle that easily, man. They should win 30 games this year out of 40. And then you got the Lynx and the Mercury BG looking for her first win of the season, and the Lynx looking for their first win of the season after blowing that lead versus the Dream yesterday. So should be two kind of desperate teams scratching to get in that win column. And then you got on the other side, you got two teams who trying to keep from getting their first loss of the season when the Aces go to the Sparks. So the Sparks got a new coach. Derek Fisher out of the Kurt Miller came in and kind of got them looking like a totally different team. So, just for those who say coaching don't matter,
don't mean to interrupt. Dylan just brought it to my attention. Florida just walked off on Alabama, so they just won 76. In the bottom of 11, yeah. So I'm sorry, but please continue.
Oh no, that's all I got, man.
Thank you,
I might put my picks out there. I might not, I might just make y'all pay for them or something like everybody else be doing.
It's crazy.
I trying to holler at AB. I need a segment on the show.
Yeah, you need to get with AB, man. They don't. I don't think they do have somebody. Well, they do have somebody who come in and do what's called, but man, 10 for 11.
They got Calvin knows his stuff.
Yeah, 10 for 11. I was 9 for 10. It's 10 for 11.
Yeah, it's 9 for 10.
9 for 10 on WNBA.
Yeah, but still, the only one that got me was that Mercury Lynx. I had an over and they was way under.
Gotcha. All right, man. We got anything else, man? Before we get ready and start praying for tomorrow.
Man, I ain't worried about them people, bro. I'm gonna have plenty of Uncle Nearest in my system, so they can come if they want to. But we need to put that boost on here because that's how we come tomorrow.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode of HBCU Hour. We'll be back on Sunday with another episode of Golden Boot. But, thank y'all for tuning in. Like that, we out. This show is presented by betonline.ag.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot.